Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are and listening in to our sort of a fireside chat with 4 of FIP Rising Stars as part of the FIPWiSE 2022 Rising Stars program. So with me today are Zahra Rattray, Dalal Al-Taweel, Elsa López Pintor, and Fernanda Tonin. My name is Parisa Aslani, and I'm a Vice President of FIP, as well as the immediate past President of the FIP's Health and Medicines Information section. So today we're going to have a little bit of a chat with our 4 FIPWiSE Rising Stars. And firstly, I'll start off by asking each of our 4 stars to give a little bit of an introduction just around themselves. Now, as my screen will be different from the screens that everybody is looking at, I'll just name the person and then get them to just give a little brief introduction about themselves. So I'll start with Zahra, please.
Hi, good day, everyone, depending on what time zone you're in. My name is Zahra Rattray, and I am based at the University of Strathclyde Institute of Pharmacy and Biomedical Sciences in Scotland, and I'm an associate professor in drug delivery.
Thank you, Zahra. Over to Fernanda, please.
Hi, greetings, everyone. My name is Fernanda. I am from Brazil, but I'm currently living in Lisbon, Portugal. I am a pharmacist as a background, and I work as a research associate at the Health Technology Research Center in the Institute of Lisbon, Portugal, and also as a health economics and outcome research consultant and scientific advisor.
Thank you, Fernanda. Moving over to Dalal, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dalal Al-Taweel. I'm from Kuwait, and I'm speaking to you currently from the College of Pharmacy in Kuwait University, where I am working as the Vice Dean of Academic and Student Affairs.
Thank you, Dalal. And finally, Elsa.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elsa López Pintor. I am an associate professor at the University Miguel Hernández of Elche in Alicante, in Spain, in the area of pharmacy and pharmaceutical technologies. And my field of action is focused on pharmaceutical care.
Great, thank you very much. So in that order, I'll start off with our first question to our stars. So Zahra, what does it mean to you to be recognized as one of the 2022 FIPWiSE Rising Stars?
So since beginning my journey as a pharmacy undergraduate, I've always been very much aware of the mission of FIP and what FIP is about, which is improving the global health of the population by advancing pharmacy practice and science to enable better accessibility and safe and appropriate use of medicines globally. And it means so much to me, actually, to be included in the inaugural list, because, again, my mission as a person has been really to make STEM accessible, and by making STEM accessible and training the next generation of pharmacists to essentially lead to the discovery of new and better medicines that will improve the quality of life for patients out there. So being included in the inaugural list really is a delight for me, and it shows that I really align with the values of FIP, and I hope that I can really make a difference moving forward for the next generation of pharmacists.
Great, thank you very much. Fernanda, what does it mean to you to be recognized as one of the FIP stars?
Thank you, Parisa, and let me just begin by acknowledging also the FIP team for organizing this podcast and the FIPWiSE Rising Star Committee for selecting me as one of the 2022 Rising Stars in the field of pharmacy. I am really thrilled to be part of this list alongside with this strong, intelligent, and talented woman whose achievements and innovations in the pharmaceutical field play an important role in redefining our profession. So, of course, besides being an incredible honor, this recognition also represents to me countless hours of training and education, leadership positions, and also all the amazing people that I've met during my path. It's actually a proof that our work goes beyond the walls of any university or institution and can actually influence others to achieve their fullest potential by means of passion, determination, and a lot of collaboration. So at the end, this is for me the greatest reason to continue in this field, and now to try to attract other female students and young professionals to science and to research.
Thank you very much. Dalal, we move over to you.
So to me, I mean, this to be recognized as one of the FIPWiSE Rising Stars is definitely a great honor and privileged. It's not only a personal achievement. So basically this recognition was mostly made for, I believe, my role in the transformation of pharmacy education, where most of my work has been, focused on in the past 8 years. So the transformation of pharmacy education in Kuwait. So it's not only a personal achievement or recognition, but it's also recognition for a whole team of people who have worked so hard on this transformation of pharmacy education in our country. We are the only college of pharmacy in Kuwait. So it was definitely a big challenge. I'm happy, especially that I'm making my college, my university, and even my country visible to the world amongst amazing universities and colleagues who have shined on the pharmacy platform. So I'm really honored and privileged to have been recognized as an FIPWiSE Rising Star, definitely.
Thank you, Dalal. Elsa.
Well, thank you, Parisa. Well, I'm honored and delighted with this recognition. First of all, to be recognized by such a high-level international organization such as FIP, which is the main reference for us pharmacists, and of course for sharing this distinction with the incredible women who I admire, pioneers in different areas of the pharmaceutical profession. And beyond this recognition, also for what FIPWiSE means. I think it's a valuable and very necessary project at this time to give visibility to women in science and education and to inspire other female scientists to overcome professional and personal barriers. So that's why I feel that this recognition is a stimulus and a great motivation to continue progressing.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. I guess for the audience, FIPWiSE is Women in Science and Education, and it's an initiative that was launched on the 11th of February 2020 on the United Nations International Day of Women and Girls in Science. Now, FIPWiSE aspires to champion and enable women in the pharmaceutical sciences and pharmacy education to achieve their fullest potential and really to attract female students and young professionals into these fields. And we've seen that in the way our 4 panelists have acknowledged the award. So my next question is really around the proudest and most challenging moment for our panel. So if you can tell us a little bit about what was your proudest, most challenging moment in your career that's brought you where you are now. And maybe we'll start again in the same order as we did with Zahra, if that's okay.
It's great. Thank you very much, Parisa. So I started my research team at Strathclyde, which was my first independent academic role in fall 2018. And shortly after that, I realized that I'd become a mother as well. And again, within a very short time frame after that, the pandemic struck as well. So the most challenging time I had, I suppose, was having a baby in one hand and applying for quite a large grant and running and managing a research team at the same time while trying to deliver teaching during a pandemic. That meant taking all of the teaching and learning that we do at the university to an online platform. It meant quite often having my child in the background of lectures and also having him in the background of meetings when I was speaking with my collaborators during the grant proposal stage. But basically, when I look back now, I'm really proud of what I managed to achieve and what my research team managed to achieve in terms of their accomplishments. They managed all to survive through that pandemic and actually become stronger. In fact, one of my graduate students last week completed their thesis and actually submitted their thesis and managed to achieve this in 3 years despite the challenges of the pandemic. And that grant proposal that I spent hours on and those times with my 10-month-old child was also successful, and it led to a large strategic equipment bid, which now means that we have leading technology within our department for analysing new nanotechnologies. So all in all, I'm very proud and very much going to remember those challenges. Nothing can be more challenging anymore after that, because there were so many accomplishments and it was such a productive time.
It is really encouraging to hear. Thank you, Zahra. Fernanda.
Yeah, thank you. So I believe most pharmacists here can also confirm that the career itself, pharmacy, is already a major challenge in many regions around the globe, especially in low and middle income countries, including Brazil, where I'm from, where education, science, and healthcare are undervalued and the professional is not well recognized. Luckily, I had the living example of my grandmother that immigrated from Germany to Brazil during the war, and she was the first woman to earn a degree in pharmacy in 1933 at her university, because before that, only men were allowed in the field. So I don't even have to say that she was my biggest example. And she and also my family encouraged me to pursue the career in healthcare, regardless of all these barriers that include the weak pharmacy curriculum, the low paid salaries, and the lack of resources. So for me, the career itself was difficult. We had a lot of challenges and barriers, but after 5-6 years, I saw to improve all my technical and scientific competences and my networking skills. And with a lot of patience and support, I was able to achieve all my achievements. And I am proud to say that today I am recognized by my peers, by my research contribution. So I believe that all the support was really important for me to be here today.
Thank you very much. Dalal.
Right. So I got my PhD back in 2013 from the University of Strathclyde, and I came back to Kuwait and worked in the Department of Pharmacy Practice. And soon after, I was appointed as the first female vice dean at our college. I mean, this was not too soon, but about 5 years after coming back. Again, like Zahra, as a mother, I had my third child at that time, and she was very young. She was only a year. So for me to decide to take on this role, I think was definitely a big decision. It was a proud moment being the first female vice dean, but also challenging, as I knew I had to kind of set the bar for all females really in the faculty, and also my students who were mostly female. There wasn't another female before me, so as a mother, as a wife, and as someone who is passionate about her career, I had to really set, let's say, a good example for all my colleagues, and really show them that not that there are no barriers, there are barriers, but that you can get through it. I believe you kind of set your own barriers, or you set how difficult they are. So, basically this recognition came as a cherry on top. It's nearing the end of my contract as vice dean. So it shows people and my female colleagues that it is possible, and it is rewarding at the same time.
Thank you, Dalal. Over to Elsa.
My professional journey has not been easy, because I decided to start a completely new line of work related to pharmaceutical care and rational use of medicines, but this discipline was not included in the university curricula. So I took on the challenge of developing this area, both in teaching and research, practically from scratch. So this has been the main challenge of my career and why I believe I have come this far. Therefore, being able to contribute something novel and pioneering rather than joining a consolidated line of research has been one of my greatest achievements. So it's a step forward, has been a moment of pride and challenge for me. My first undergraduate students, the first direction of doctoral dissertation, my role as Vice Dean of the Faculty of Pharmacy, my first grant, the launch of a master's degree in pharmaceutical care, my first articles in recognized journals, my first international congress, establishing synergies with key stakeholders, and this last year, the invitation to join the Valencian Academy of Pharmacy as a corresponding academic. I think all of these, all of them have been a special moment that give meaning to my personal and professional career. And of course, what I am most proud of in my life are my family and my husband and my two young daughters, Lola and Elsa, who arrived in the middle of this incredible journey that inevitably impacts my personal lives. They remind me every day of the importance of finding a balance between work and family life.
I think it was a tricky question to ask you all to talk about one proud moment, because having seen your achievements, I think you have so many moments to be proud of and so many great achievements. So as we all know, FIPWiSE focused on several work streams for action. And one of those is around global implementation of the FIP Development Goal 10, which is equity and equality, and is to address equity and diversity inequalities in pharmaceutical workforce development, continued education and training, and career progression opportunities. So my third question to the panel, and perhaps we'll rejig the order and start with Dalal on this one. What would change for you if we achieved gender equity in your field? And what would it lead to from your perspective? So Dalal, I'll start off with you perhaps on this one.
Right. So in Kuwait, and I think as is worldwide, most of our students at the faculty are female. So I have about 400 students at the College of Pharmacy, and about 95% of them are females. And therefore, female graduates and female pharmacists definitely outnumber men in our pharmacy workforce. And I think that is consistent with the data, worldwide. So, however, I think as is the case worldwide, women continue to be underrepresented in senior and leadership positions within pharmacy once they leave our faculty. So in pharmacy practice, you would see less females being in senior and leadership positions. And I feel like from our side in academia, what we have been working on is that our new program, which is a competency-based curriculum, will build these leadership competencies in our students before they go out there. It'll make them, equip them and empower our female graduates to take on leadership positions when they're in such, they're in a female-dominated, let's say, career, but yet in senior and leadership positions, it's still not. It's still male-dominated. So I feel from our side in academia, we can definitely have a big role to play in equipping and empowering our graduates.
Great, thank you. Elsa, what are your thoughts around this issue of gender equity in your field?
Although progress is being made in Spain, in my opinion, there are still great opportunities for improvement in the field of pharmacy, education, research, and practice. In my opinion, achieving gender equality in my field would mean having broken down the barriers for women to progress, as education and research are still very much dominated by men. For example, progressing in the academic career in universities, in Spanish universities, includes certain requirements, such as teaching and research stays in other universities, a certain number of publications as lead or last author, projects as principal investigator, or occupying management positions such as dean or department director, etc. And we know that there are times in women's lives, such as family responsibilities and raising children, when it's complicated to meet these requirements. This is, in my opinion, one of the main barriers, and it causes women to be penalized in their careers in the academia. Men are more likely to move up the leadership ladder compared to their female colleagues. And something similar, in my opinion, is true for the pharmaceutical workforce. Despite being the majority of the pharmaceutical workforce, women are underrepresented in leadership and decision-making positions. So, in my opinion, these are some issues that need to be improved to achieve gender equity in my field.
Great, thank you very much. Zahra, how about you?
I would pretty much like to echo what Dalal and Elsa have mentioned so far. We do have a leaky pipeline. We see a very high population, and we see a high level of gender equality at the undergraduate level, but this does not translate to when we're looking at director roles in the pharmaceutical industry or senior roles within clinical practice or within academia for that matter. So I think what really needs to change is that our undergraduates, our students that are coming through don't actually visualize this leaky pipeline as their future, that they have to actually leave the sector or work within more junior roles or be paid less than anyone else. And I think we are all in a good position to show them that things can be improved, the future can be brighter, they can achieve and accomplish the same as their male peers. And also the biggest benefit this would bring, so pharmaceutical research and pharmaceutical sciences, it benefits from diversity. So if we can improve the diversity of our workforce at the senior levels, we might see more innovations, we might see different ways of thinking, different ways of working that will ultimately have a great impact on global health. So a good example of that actually is that women's health is massively under-researched across different areas. Even looking at trans health is under-researched in many areas, and we have so much more to do and so much more to accomplish. And who would actually be better to lead on those efforts that more than the people that are actually impacted by it? So yes, gender equity, it can make such a change on so many different levels, starting from education right through to making a difference to the lives of patients across the world.
Thank you very much. Fernanda.
Thank you very much. So I would just like to add what all the other colleagues already said, that gender equality is a fundamental right. And although we still know that we have plenty of gaps, showing that in healthcare field, for instance, despite making the majority of the global health workforce, women are poorly represented in the leadership positions and roles, as already commented. Yet I am an optimist, and I believe that step by step we can change this difference by empowering and championing women in science and academia. So besides the educational part, I believe that we can do more initiatives like the FIPWiSE Rising Star for helping to change these ideas and these gender imbalances. So then hopefully one day we will have more similar status, salaries, and prestige as men, and also more flexible hours and decent work environments, family and childbearing support that is still difficult to achieve in many countries.
Couldn't agree more. I think there's a lot of challenges out there that we still have to consider in order to really ensure or assure gender equity in our fields. So my next question is really around the future and sort of putting on the lens of what will happen and where will you be in 5 to 10 years' time. So let the audience know, I guess, what are your plans for the next 5 to 10 years, and where do you see, or what would you like to see achieved in your field by then? Maybe we'll start with Dalal again.
Okay, so in my field in pharmacy education in particular, I mean, pharmacy education has evolved over the decades to be more patient-centered, and the achievement we have done over the past nearly decade has been amazing, really. And I think my ambition is that towards the future, we look at developing a more structured approach to learning and practice. So I'd like to see maybe or invest more time and effort in improving experiential learning here in Kuwait, and also introduce interprofessional learning, which is something still quite new in Kuwait. And this will kind of allow our students to experience more the gray zones in practice, but while still being guided and supported by us in academia and by practitioners as well. I have a deep interest in improving also learning in class. So initially in class, to make learning more active, more authentic, set it more in a complex kind of social environment. So students can not only learn just from us, but also more importantly, learn from each other. Another aspect that I was thinking of is because of this transformation that we did in transforming our, pharmacy education based on the needs of the Kuwaiti population. So this was how we transformed our pharmacy curriculum. We looked at the needs of our population in Kuwait and designed it for that. So I would love to study the impact of this change in pharmacy education in practice, and see how it has ultimately maybe affected patient outcomes. So that's mostly all. I mean, in academia, there's also the development of more programs that go beyond undergraduate courses. So maybe residency programs to expand the scope of practice and look at what's really needed in practice. So my focus is more, yes, on pharmacy education and seeing its effect in practice.
Great, thank you very much. I wish you success. Elsa.
Yeah, thank you. My ambition for the next years is to consolidate pharmacy practice and as an academic discipline, which in my case in Spain implies, for example, the creation of specific departments to carry out quality teaching and research in this field. And at the same time, I would also like to consolidate my line research in pharmaceutical care, as well as to contribute to improve the research capacity of pharmacists. And it would be great to develop an international research project in collaboration with you, with other women in science and education. And why not aim to take up a management position in the Faculty of Pharmacy? I believe that synergies between the pharmaceutical profession and the university should be encouraged, as they are key to advancing pharmaceutical education and improving the pharmaceutical workforce.
Great, thank you very much, Elsa. There is a growing, I guess, field of pharmacy practice research. So more than happy to chat and talk offline around pharmacy practice research. So Zahra, over to you.
Yeah, so overall, I think we live in a very exciting era, from the introduction of different omics technologies right through to precision medicine, and also through integrating that with basic clinical and scientific research. There is a great opportunity really to take research from the bench to the bedside, and to do this at a pace that never happened previously. So at the moment, I collaborate with physicians and the pharmaceutical industry on my research portfolio. And even more recently, we engaged with patients to make them aware of our research, the research activities we undertake, and also their experiences and their lived experiences of breast cancer and the journey that they make during their treatment. And what that really introduced me to, which was very unexpected, was the field of narrative pharmacy and narrative medicine. And this field pretty much is very much in its infancy. It's not been given much attention in terms of pharmacy and oncology pharmacy. So this is really an area I plan to grow with my collaborators over the next few years, to make sure that the patients' voices and lived experiences are incorporated even into the basic science research that we do, so that we actually consider the patient at the heart of this. And what I found really reassuring is that even my undergraduate and pharm dissertation students working on this narrative pharmacy project really have appreciated the benefit that this type of education brings. So it's not looking at pharmacy practice, it's not necessarily looking at the science, but it's putting the patient at the center of everything we do and reminding us that the patient matters so much. So over the course of the next 5 to 10 years, I wish to grow this in conjunction with everything we do, so that the next generation of pharmacists coming through have a better awareness and hopefully improve the patient experience in their care. And also that's integrated and interweaved within my research, so that we never actually forget the patient, who is the key stakeholder of our research.
Absolutely. Fernanda.
So thank you. After almost 10 years of studies and hard work in the field of pharmacy practice, and as well in health economics and outcome research, I'm still very passionate about what I do. So my current major ambition is to share knowledge in both integral, universal, and efficient ways. I am seeking to improve science communications by means of best practice in research, and also by promoting students' training courses and the use of social media and participation in scientific and networking events. I also try to improve methods in pharmacoeconomics, so try to innovate the methods of this field. And hopefully in 5 to 10 years, I will continue to pursue this path in academia as a professor and senior researcher, as well in the scientific consultant field. And I also want to maintain a balance between my professional and personal lives, to be able to enjoy myself, my family, including future children, and also my friends, to also achieve success in all aspects of life. So let's see, in a couple of years we can chat again.
Great, thank you very much. So other streams of FIPWiSE are building confidence in competence, acting for enabling workplace environments in science and education, and importantly, supporting young professional women and female students to thrive in science and education. So as FIPWiSE Rising Stars, my last question is around how do you see yourself, I guess, building on these work streams as pillars in helping the next generation of women to shine? What are your plans? What are your strategies in helping our future? Perhaps I'll start with Zahra on this one.
Thank you very much, Parisa. So I appreciate that it takes efforts on multiple different levels and across different areas. And I think one of these areas where it can start to have a major impact actually is before the years of university education. So starting from early secondary school. And a lot of the efforts that I do as a director of public engagement and outreach is to really make pupils within secondary school or late primary school become aware of STEM, and more importantly, the field of pharmacy as a prospective career choice. So an area that I've been also very active in is mentoring secondary aged pupils that have no experience of prior higher education within their family, or they come from disadvantaged backgrounds. And again, I meet with them on a weekly basis and interact with them and try to make them aware of the options that are available to them. And at a university level, from an undergraduate perspective, again, I'm personal development advisor to more than 20 students, the majority of which are female. And again, from day one, we try to instill this sense of being ambitious, trying to develop your leadership skills, trying to identify areas for growth and development. And that growth and development does not stop. Even it continues years beyond, well, it continues as a lifelong process. And yeah, as I was saying, it's multi-stage, multi-effort, because I currently also mentor postdocs and new academics that start within the department. And I think we need those structures and those pillars of support to be in place so that we can appropriately champion people, and we can also equip them with the confidence, even the knowledge and the know-how of how to pursue the leadership, their development, and also a future in pharmacy for a brighter future.
Great, thanks. Sounds like you're involved really from school and upwards. Thank you, Zahra. That's great. Fernanda, how about yourself? What are your plans for helping the next generation of women shine?
Thank you, Parisa. So considering my professional path and also the struggles to achieve my goals, I stand where I'm today. I'm humbly make myself available to all women, young scientists, and healthcare professionals, whether to have an informal chat, answer some questions, or build partnerships and collaborations in my field of research. Additionally, as one of the vice chair of the Pharmacy Practice Research Special Interest Group from FIP, and by being involved in different research groups in several countries, I try to promote knowledge exchange and networking that might benefit the colleagues and students also to shine and achieve their fullest potential. So regarding some practical tips, I can advise women to seek for mentoring, as I already mentioned it. This is vital for any scientist to achieve success. Also, in this sense, it's important to develop good communication skills and learn how to network. And I believe some top personality traits that are important to shine in our field include creativity, a lot of patience, and self-discipline. I believe it's important to enjoy the research activities we are doing, be passionate about it, but also learn how to say no whenever necessary, because this balance for our lives is very important. The journey is not that easy as it sounds. It takes a lot of time, a lot of ups and downs, but take one step at a time, focus on your goals, and be surrounded by people that support you. If you need a push, let us know. We are also always available. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Dalal.
Thank you, Parisa. I echo what both Zahra and Fernanda said. I think through mentorship, really, I lead a group of 6 amazing girls in our student affairs team, and I always say that when women work together, we create wonders. My door is always open, especially for my colleagues here at the College of Pharmacy, especially my female colleagues. I believe mentoring women is so important. I truly believe that it's one of, mentoring is one of the top strategies to help close the gender gap. So when I speak to my female colleagues, I believe that I kind of open up with them to kind of show them their access to opportunities, how to build their confidence, how to believe in themselves, that they can truly balance their work with their life as mothers and as wives, and help them in their professional development. So I truly enjoy guiding them through any challenges and kind of give them any tips to advance in their careers. I'd like to also see, this is also a project that I've had in mind, is to kind of see some kind of link to link the females in academia and maybe, in pharmacy schools, not only in our region here in the Middle East, but also all over the world. I think FIP is an amazing place or a platform for us all to join, so we can, as females, see what our mutual needs are and challenges in academia and pharmacy schools. So yeah, these are the 2 points I can think of at the moment. But I've always believed in keeping also the doors open for our graduates, to keep the doors open when they're out there in practice and keep them linked with academia. So yeah, women can do wonders, definitely.
Thank you. I like that. It's a nice new slogan. Together we can make wonders. So moving on to Elsa, please tell us how you'll be helping the next generation of women.
Well, I would like to contribute to the creation of a workforce of leading pharmacists, equipping it with the knowledge, attitudes, and skill necessary to meet the current and future challenges of pharmacy at all levels, in teaching, research, and the pharmacy profession. A workforce of pharmacists in which women are represented in leadership and decision-making positions. So I see myself helping young women in this regard. I believe that the university has an important role to play in gender equity in the pharmaceutical workforce. So I would like to help young women to change the mindset and convey them that there are no barriers, that with hard work and effort, anything is possible.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. So that ends the questions for our podcast. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, FIPWiSE Rising Stars, for taking the time out to share with us how you have valued the award this year, to share with us your proudest moment and also some of your challenging moments, but incredible to see your achievements, and also to have a really clear idea of what your plans are for the next 5 to 10 years within your field, and how the importance of gender equity where you work. I love the fact that together we will make wonders, but together we're also stronger, and to see that as you move forward, you also still have your hand out to help younger women in order to be able to succeed. So once again, thank you so much for taking the time out to share with us all your thoughts and views. And I look forward to catching up with all of you at the next FIP Congress to be held in Brisbane, Australia. Thank you very much.